We at Conference News are here today at the Marriott London Grosvenor Square to find out how the venue is using a platform called Allseated to change the way that it pitches for events. Let's go talk to them now. I spoke to Joanna Lench, Senior Events Manager at the London Marriott Hotel Grosvenor Square, about their relationship with Allseated. So Joanna, obviously it's a great space in here. Tell me a little bit about it.
So I think one of the big things that really helps us to sell the space is we are one of the UK's largest pillar-free ballrooms, and you don't really get this big space very often like that, and it's one of the first things people tend to ask us even before they come to the venue. They're like, are there any, is there anything that's going to block the view for a conference or for an awards? Nobody wants to be sitting on that table behind the wall going, have I won? I don't know what's happened. So yeah, it's a really easy thing, the first thing I think people notice.
So, give me a little bit of context about your work with Allseated then, because you say that obviously a big sell for this space is the space itself, right? Yes. So what does Allseated do for you?
Well, as you can imagine, you walk into a nice big airy space, which, as I've already said, has its benefits, but equally it can be really hard to imagine what the space actually looks like on the day of your event, especially if you have, let's say, a conference. You might have multiple events going on, multiple spaces needing different setups. So using Allseated for us is just a great tool to be able to, give people some examples, but it has that ability to put people physically in the room in that 3D sort of setup. Technology blows my mind because you can literally do like a virtual walkthrough in the room with them. You can put all the tables up, you can put as much or as little in there as you need. You can split the space down into multiple sections, really gives it like that I'm in the room feel, and this is how much space I'm going to have, and this is, where we can have the presentation area or those sorts of things, which people, especially over the last year or 2 years now, it's been really useful for us to kind of be able to show people that if we haven't been able to physically get people into the hotel to see it, but also, as I say, once they've seen it as an empty space, we can then sort of, put their imagination into overdrive by showing them different options, and yeah, it's been really useful for us.
Take me back to the start of the partnership, I guess. So where was it born of? Why are you working with Allseated rather than just what it does for you, I guess?
So we were looking for something to be able to show people the space, what we can do, examples, without them physically having to be here. We all obviously jumped onto virtual calls, using video calling and things like that for meetings. We did try doing virtual show rounds with sort of like selfie sticks and things, and it was fine, but it's not quite the same. And also to us, it doesn't feel as professional a standard to do it that way. It's much nicer if you can present someone with a professional project, something that looks, and is genuinely very authentic, but actually it's nice to have something that comes across with that polished finish. Like every inquiry that I get, I automatically send them a link to even just the virtual tour first of all, just to say this is what we have on offer. And then at the later stages, once we actually have the contract with people and we're setting their floor plans and doing things like that with them, it's great because you can physically put people in the space. They can see example setups.
Definitely. So, you talk about how you use it for pretty much every inquiry you get and say, look, this is some things that we can do with our space. Do you think that using the platform has won you business?
Oh, absolutely. I would say without a doubt. I think using it in the first instance, when you get an inquiry, the first thing is that they kind of go, oh yeah, that looks like we could use the space, rather than just showing a photo, which is what we would have done previously, just send images of the space. And until you come to see it, you don't really know what it's like. I think it's actually probably intrigued people to physically come and look at it in the first place. So just even getting people to the site visit stage is better because it's ultimately putting you in a better spot for the business.
I spoke with Hooray Khan, Key Account Manager at Allseated, about how the platform works with the venue to create a virtual space.
Okay, so I've obviously met Joanna in the real world, but now we are in the hotel's digital twin, and we're also joined by Hooray. Hooray, how are you doing today?
Really, really good. So good to have you in this digital twin, and looking forward to show you around.
Yeah, it's great to be here. I mean, you are the virtual expert here, so why don't you give us a little bit of a tour of the platform?
Yeah, sure. Joanna, I hope it's okay for you. Even if it's your hotel, I would like to ask you to follow me into the amazing ballroom. And Joanna, if I say something wrong or you have something else to tell about your room, just interrupt me. But I would like to show you how the digital twin of this hotel is look like. Just come inside, follow me, and have a look. I did some short work. I did a theater setup here, as you can see. And Joanna, maybe you want to say something. What do you think? Did I do a good job?
Well, first of all, it's very strange to be to be on the other side. I'm having a show around of my own venue. It's very exciting for me. But yeah, it looks amazing. Obviously, most of the time when we see the space with clients, it's either mid-setup for an event or it's completely empty. So it's really nice to be able to see how we can show people like an example setup. It looks great.
And I did this within 10 seconds. It's really, really easy. And Cameron, I would be interested in what you think. You have been to this hotel as well. I haven't been here, but it feels like I could sell it as well remotely. What do you think if you compare it to the live venue?
Yeah, well, it's quite a strange feeling to be here with all the seats in, I think, is the main thing, because obviously when I went to the hotel in person, it was empty. So it's a great visualization tool, I think, to be able to see it in classroom like this. So, but it is a little bit uncanny valley.
Awesome. So guys, as I told you, I used to be a client of Allseated, and one of the things me and my team really, really liked was the follow me feature. What is this follow me feature? Because as you know, walking around in digital twin with the arrow buttons on your keyboard might be a bit challenging for the client sometimes. So we have this follow me feature. So don't get scared. I will start it and you will see everything from my perspective, and I will show a short side inspection with a few stops in this hotel. So let's go. So now you should be able to see everything from my perspective. And I can walk around and tell everything about this hotel as you would like to. And the good thing is the client is getting as the setup he's requesting. And if the setup we have created is wrong, you can create a new setup within seconds, and the setup will be automatically updated. But now we see a different setup. Just give me a sec. Let's enter the room again. Like I said, within a few seconds, and now we have a little dinner party going on. Some people are dancing. Cameron, I heard you can dance pretty good. I see you on the dance floor. And Joanna, if you want to join us as well, but we might have a wine together here as well. So, but just joking. So what I wanted to show you with that setup is that everything you can think of and could be sold in your hotel can be visualized within minutes, seconds, and with your own furniture. And it also helped us during live site inspection, because as you know, the banquet teams are really busy and you can't create the setup as requested just for a site inspection. We said, hey, here's the live room. You can see it. And here on the laptop or tablet, the one-on-one setup as requested, it will fit, it will look good, and everything will be fine. And you get the trust of the client, as well as it's an advantage in comparison to the competitor set. But final stop before we finish our site inspection, where can it be? In the bar. All right, so now we're in the bar. Maybe, Joanna, you would like to say something, some last words on this tour as well, before we finish our site inspection. But yeah, I'm looking forward. What do you think?
Yeah, you know what, the sort of example setup side of things is really helpful for clients. We have a lot of international clients who can't necessarily travel just to see the venue in advance. So it's really useful to be able to show them exactly how it would look on the day. As you probably know, since COVID, we've also had a lot of people requesting things like more space between table setups, chair setups, and we can do that kind of thing on the platform. We can show them an example of, right, this was how it would look with option A, and this is how it looks with option B. And even just as you say today, show us the bar. it's a silly thing, but you can show all the different types of rooms, everything that we have on site without them having to be here. You can still give them examples. Pictures only do so much. So yeah, it's really useful. And I'm really enjoying just being on the other side of it, actually.
I will send you my application afterwards. But yeah, so thank you very much, guys, for joining for the site inspection. I really, really like this tool. There are so many features, and you can do individual setups with your own furniture as much as you want. And Cameron, thank you for having us, and maybe some last words from your side.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for showing me around, and thank you for renting at the bar after all that virtual dancing I did. It is basically the right place I wanted to be. But I think it's a really interesting platform, and I think Joanna really put it best. I think that being able to show clients around virtually and not have them come over from Europe and etc. prior to the event, I think that's a real key benefit for this. But thank you very much for showing me around, Farai.
Cool, thank you very much. And hopefully see you soon in live in this beautiful hotel.
So it's been great to hear from both the venue side and the platform side about how new technology is influencing the way that events are actually sold. If you want to learn more, then you can visit Marriott.com to learn a bit more about the venue space, Allseated.com to learn more about the platform, and conferencenews.co.uk to find out more about what we at Conference News are doing. But until then, I'll see you all on the next See and Explore.